I do want know if I am looking for advice or just a place to finally say this all out loud. I'm in my late 30s. I was married, and I left my husband for the man I loved when I was young, a man who is slowly losing his memory. His name is Ryan. Ryan and I met when we were in our early 20s. We were poor, hopeful, and stupid in that special way people are when they believe love can survive anything. He was so steady and quiet. The kind of man who showed love through consistency, not grand gestures or big words. He would show up, every single time. I, on the other hand, was the complete opposite. I wanted more. I had bigger dreams, and I craved a life that felt exciting and full of possibilities. Over time, I started to feel like loving him meant staying small, like his stability was holding me back from the life I imagined. So, we broke up. There was no cheating, no screaming matches, no dramatic final fight. It was just a quiet exhaustion, a slow, painful drifting apart. We both felt like we were pulling each other in opposite directions, and eventually, the rope just snapped. It was a heart-wrenching, mutual understanding that we wanted different things from life. Years went by. I moved on, or at least, I told myself I did. I married someone else. My ex-husband. He was a good man. Kind, reliable, successful. He gave me the life that made sense on paper. The one my family approved of, the one people congratulated me for having. It was a comfortable life, a secure one. But deep down, something was always missing. There was this quiet hum of discontent, a feeling that I was living someone else's idea of a perfect life, not my own. The love was practical, but it never touched the deepest part of my soul. Then one day, I got a call that shattered everything. It was from a mutual friend. Ryan had been diagnosed with early-onset memory loss, a degenerative condition with no cure. My first instinct was to keep my distance. I told myself I didn't need to get involved. We hadn't spoken in years. I had a husband. I had a life. It wasn't my place. But guilt, I've learned, has a funny way of sounding like responsibility. The memories of our time together, the love I had tried so hard to bury, came rushing back. I couldn't stay away. I visited him once, just to see how he was. Then I went again. At first, he remembered me clearly. We talked about the past, about our youth, like we were discussing characters in a book. It felt safe, distant. He joked. He smiled his old, familiar smile. He told me I looked the same, even though we both knew I didn't. In those moments, it felt like no time had passed at all. But then came the other days. The days when he would look at me with a polite, vacant stare and ask, "I'm sorry, who are you?" Those days absolutely destroyed me. To be a stranger to the person whose heart you once knew so well. It's a pain I can't describe. It felt like a piece of my own history was being erased right in front of me. So, I started telling him stories. Our stories. I told him about us. About how he used to wait for me after my late shifts at the cafe, just to walk me home. I told him about the box of letters he wrote but never had the courage to give me. The ones I found after we broke up. I told him about how he loved me even when I was difficult and restless. How he saw the best in me when I couldn't see it myself. Sometimes, he'd listen with wide-eyed curiosity, as if he was hearing a beautiful love story for the very first time. And sometimes, in the most gut-wrenching moments, he'd smile faintly and say, "That sounds like someone I'd love." That was always worse than him just forgetting my name. It was a glimpse of the man he still was, trapped behind a fog he couldn't control. Somewhere along the way, through all those visits and shared memories, I realized something awful and unavoidable. The man I married gave me stability, a life that looked perfect from the outside. But the man I had left all those years ago, he gave me truth. He was the only one who had ever truly seen me. I wasn't in love with my husband anymore. And staying with him, pretending everything was fine, started to feel cruel to both of us. It was a lie, and we both deserved more than that. So I left my marriage. I did it quietly, honestly, without drama or blame. It was the hardest decision I've ever made, leaving a life of comfort for a future filled with complete uncertainty. I moved in with Ryan. Not because I had some naive hope that my love could magically fix his condition. Not because I was expecting a fairy tale happy ending. I did it because I couldn't live with myself knowing that I chose comfort over the one person who had ever loved me. Without any conditions, the person who needed me now more than ever. Life now is a series of unpredictable days. Some days, Ryan knows exactly who I am. He'll wake up, see me, and his eyes will light up with recognition. He'll call me by my name, and for a few precious hours, he's my Ryan again. We laugh, we hold hands, and it feels like a miracle. On other days, he knows me only by the way I make him feel. He might not know my name or our history, but he knows my presence means safety. He reaches for my hand instinctively, a silent acknowledgement that I am his anchor in the storm of his mind. And then there are the days he knows nothing at all. He is distant, confused, and I am just a caregiver, a kind stranger in his house. On those days, my heart breaks a little more, but I stay anyway, because I've learned that love isn't always about being remembered every single day. Sometimes, it's about being the one who remembers, for both of you, when the other person can't. It's about holding on to the memories, the love, the story, and keeping it safe for them. I have no idea how this story will end. All I know is that for the first time in my life, I chose love. Not the easy, convenient version, but the real, honest, messy one. And somehow, in the midst of all this pain and uncertainty, that feels like enough. It feels like coming home. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've ever faced a difficult choice in the name of love, I'd be grateful to hear your thoughts in the comments. Please remember to subscribe for more stories about the human heart.